Then it's very important is program evaluation and review techniques. So we talked about this in detail, where we have to find the equivalent time or effective time based on the three time estimate: optimistic, most likely, and pessimistic. And it follows beta distribution. We talked about the variance, standard deviation, and we talked about the probability of completion. So the reason we postponed PERT to FAT syllabus is that, I mean, not given in CAT 2, is that we need to understand the Z table. So Z table may not be given in exam. So and you cannot memorize everything in a Z table. So but there is a procedure to calculate the Z value. So I'll tell you how to do that in a couple of minutes later. But this is very important. So when Z table is not given, how do you find the probability of completion time using PERT method? So that's what we're gonna see in today's lecture. So this is a typically concise Z table, which is a standard normal distribution table, and minus 3.0 is the least, which is 0.00, which is a 0%. Anything beyond minus 3.0, like 3.1 or 3.9 or 4, everything has got only the 0 value. So anything that is beyond minus 3.0 is 0 percentage, and anything beyond plus 3.0 is 1, this is 100 percentage. So 3.1 plus 3.5 is 100 percentage. So that's very important thing. And intermediate values we need to know, so that we need to find the probability of completion time, right? One exemption I gave in PERT is that since PERT is a pretty big problem, so you don't have to really find out the float durations or other aspects like in critical path method. But in this case you can calculate the effective duration. Then you can find out the critical path duration like CPM, or you can even find by the the longest path duration or something like that. Then we will discard the critical path alone. Then we'll find the expected duration and the variance, and we'll find the sum of the variance, and that will take a square root of the variance, which is a standard deviation. So it's two values, standard deviation and critical path will be our critical path duration will be our point of discussion. Then what we generally do is we'll find the probability of completion of a project in some days, some X days. So we'll see whether that is possible or not possible, or sometimes we need to know what is the percentage of the completion or something like that. So this is the formula. This is T, which is the total duration or critical path duration, that is less than or equal to Ts, which is the expected duration. Expected duration is given, like your client might ask, like how can you finish your project, uh, what is the possibility of doing it less than the stipulated deadline or something like that. Then you can say this is the probability, so which is nothing but probability of 35, which is the X day given, minus the critical path duration divided by the standard deviation. So what you get is P of something. So in this case plus and minus plays a huge role. So we talked about plus 2.27. Then you compare this value in a Z table and find out the value of that, which is comes around 0.9884. So multiplied by 100, and that will give the percentage of completion, which is something around 99 percentage. So the critical path duration is 33, and you give additional 2 days, something like 35 is 33 plus 2. So the probability of completion is very good. You can complete it in with a confidence level. Say the 99 percentage, you will be completing. Probability of completion is 99. But sometimes when a client asks, like, what is the probability that you can finish it in 30 days? So 30 days is 30 minus 33 divided by the standard deviation, which comes in a negative value. So minus 2.27. So if you find that in a Z table, which is 0.3936, which is approximately 40%. So probability of completion of this particular project in 30 days is just 40%. So you cannot go beyond that. So this is a very interesting thing. And for this, you need to know, you need to really understand the Z table. So let's take a look at that. The first thing is plus 2.27. So the Z value is plus 2.27. From that, we need to find out the cumulative probability value, which is the standard distribution value of this thing. So for that, you have to go to normal distribution table, and it is minus point, something like, I think this is 2.27. So here it is 2.2, and 2.27, which is something like 0.9884, something here, right? So this value is this, and multiplied by 100 will give 98 in terms of percentage, and you round off to nearest decimal, then will become 99%. So that's how you calculate. But the problem is, this kind of Z table may not be given in exam. So how are we going to calculate the cumulative probability value? So there is a procedure to do that. So that's what we're going to discuss in today's lecture. So this is how you calculate those particular things, right? For example, and this is what we call a linear interpolation. So you'll find the value of Z or the cumulative probability value from the some values of standard values of Z table. From that, we'll interpolate it and find out the corresponding value. And remember that this method is really approximate. If Z value is not given in the exam or not able to find, you can use this approximate method called linear interpolation. In fact, implementing linear interpolation itself is a very approximate method, because it's a Gaussian distribution Z table. So you should look into the non-linear no, interpolation, or Gauss forward interpolation, or some methodology. But that methodology itself is a time consuming. So this is a simplified method, so you can probably make use of that for determining the completion time. So here it is, like the linear interpolation formula for calculating cumulative probability value from Z table for the PERT calculation is given in table 1 and equation 1. Let's take a look at table 1. So this is the standard value that I told you. So minus 3.0 has got a 0 probability. So in terms of value, it is 0.00. Then you should remember 0 percentage, 0, I mean not percentage, 0 value of Z. So when Z value is 0, the cumulative probability value is 0.5, which is 50%. So remember this, in a minus 3 it is 0, and 0 it is 50%, and plus 3 it's 1 or 100%. So if you remember this 3 value, then additionally you should remember plus 1.5 and minus 1.5 of Z value. So if you remember minus 1.5, and it is 0.07, so you can very well remember using this fancy number. It is, remember James Bond's not 7, so you remember that it is 0.07. Then you remember plus 1.5 as 0.93. So you have to only remember these two and all those 5. If you remember, you can find a Z value of any, a CPV, cumulative probability value for any Z value. So we'll take a look at that, and the formula is that y dash, which is nothing but the intermediate value, which is what we're gonna find for the corresponding x value, which is a Z value. So given a Z value of, say for example, 2.5 plus 2.5, then it is somewhere between here. Then x star, which is nothing but 2.5, which is the intended Z value. Then the corresponding intermediate value of 0.93 and 1 will be y star. So that's what we're gonna find out. So y star equals to x star minus xa. Xa is the the previous value. So in case we'll take a look at 2 plus 2.5 example. In that case, plus 1.5 will be xa, and 3.0 will be xb. So which means it's like upper bound or lower bound or something like that. And corresponding y upper bound ya will be 0.93, and yb will be 1. So upper bound and lower bound for y plus ya, so which is nothing but the 0.93 for plus 2.5 example. So this is the formula. It is not actually a formula, it is just like a ratio between z value and the cumulative probability distribution value, and when we equate it we can find y sharp, which is the unknown quantity. And this is a pretty good example. So this is then, and very important, this is an approximate method for calculating the cumulative probability value from sample z values, which is the 5 z values, when z table is not given or provided. Otherwise you have to make use of z value, but generally it will not be given. You should remember this constant value or standard value, then you have to interpolate it. Let's take a look at this example. In this case, we will find CPV, cumulative probability value for Z value, um, for plus 2.25. And I said the example plus 2.25, plus 2.25 will falls between plus 1.5 and plus 3, and the value of that will be lying between 0.93 and 1. So in this case, I have taken x sharp will be plus 2.25, which is given. From table 1, we'll find out xa, the lower bound is plus 1.5 and upper bound of x is plus 3.0 and y is 0.93 and 1.0. Right? Substitute that in a formula. We'll almost get a 0.9650. You can round up to nearest to decimal places or something like that. But when you calculate like plus 2.25 from the z table, it is something around 0.9878, which is the difference of the calculated value using table 1 and from the z table is just 2%, minus 2%. So it's a very negligible. So your answer will be fairly correct. So but this is just to show, illustrate how the actual z table and your calculated value works or something like that. So you can start with this itself, and you can try putting it in terms of percentage. Say for example, for plus 2.25, and the probability of completion is 0.97. So something like 97 percentage. So this is how you calculate it. And another example, in this case we'll have something called in terms of negative, which is minus 0.28. Minus 0.28 falls between minus 1.5 and 0.0. So that will be here, and this will be the lower bound of x, and this will be upper bound of x, and corresponding lower bound of y and upper bound of y, and intermediate value of y will be the value of minus 0.28. And same way you calculate it in terms of formula. In this case we have got 0.42, which is like 7% different from the actual, which is 0.3897 or 0.39. So that is how no, it's very negligible in terms of percentage. So that's how you calculate the cumulative probability value. And in this case if you get 0.42, then probably, I mean, if you get minus 0.28 as a p value, that corresponding cumulative probability value, the probability of completion of that project is 42%. And this is how you calculate the interpolated values. And I've given some example, I mean exercise, so you can practice this, and the answers are also given, so you can take a look at this and appreciate what is the implications of these and something like that. Right? So this completes the interpolation stuff.